Hey guys, following on from my previous video where I changed the stud on a DC5, I did say that I needed some replacement tyres. So I've picked some up. These are exactly the same ones that I have on the car at the moment. So we have Eagle F1 asymmetric 2s, which I will try to show you there. This isn't the latest one. I know there's an asymmetric 3, but these are coming in at a better price. So the tyres currently on there, you can see there are cracks on the outside there. Even onto the inside, they are fairly visible. And over here, of course, we have the replacement tyres, but I don't think I've shown you guys how to change a tyre. Now, not everyone has a tyre machine or gets to go into the tyre shop to see how it's done. So I'm going to show you guys today. Of course, let's take the wheels off first and then take it into the garage. Once we have the wheel removed from the car, we have the valve cap. So obviously you want to take that off. And inside there, that is the valve core. So if you press that, it actually releases air. So if you have a listen. But of course, that is going to take a long time if I just leave my finger there. So we have a valve core remover. This would take the valve core out itself. And as I release this, it's going to hiss quite a bit. So be prepared for it. So as the hissing is dying down, you can tell that most of the air is out. It's actually really soft around the edges as well. These we can throw away because I will put new ones in there. But now it's time to remove the tyre from the wheel itself. What you saw earlier was me breaking the bead around the tyre. So this is both on the inside and outside, hence why I spun the wheel round. But now is a good opportunity to take off the wheel weights. So these are normally stuck on. We can also take out the center cap as well. We'll set that aside, and now I can pull it onto the turntable and get ready to take the tyre off. So we could clamp it in both ways. We could either clamp it from the inside of the wheel using these bits, but it could kind of scratch the alloy wheel, or we can use these rubber plastic protectors which clamps onto the inside of the wheel here. So I'm going to be using this so as not to damage the surface and the finish of the alloy wheel. We want to lubricate the bead around here. So we're using this arm here. Let's bring this up and just missing the wheel, but onto the tyre. Want to give a bit of a gap there. So as I spin the wheel, I'll be able to stick a brush in there and lubricate that inner bead. So before we bring this main arm down, which would separate the tyre from the wheel itself, I want to protect the wheel further. So I'm going to stick this plastic sort of cover there. So as this arm comes down and makes contact with the wheel, this plastic protector is going to be in between it. Now that it's in a good position, we can use a long lever so as to bring the tyre over and onto this sort of ledge there. And of course, repeat the process for the lower bead. So with the tyre separated from the wheel, you can just move this arm out of the way, and that's it. You can dispose of it. So we have to prepare the new valve for the new tyre to go on. So we just bring this back to a suitable position. We have a sort of knife for this valve, so we can just cut down here. Sometimes you can pull it out, but I prefer just to cut it. So this is a new valve stem. Now it comes with a cap, and usually it comes with a core as well, which we will have to remove, which you can see inside. And of course you want to keep this core somewhere safe because you will be using this new one rather than the old one. So the valve core has to go inside this hole here. I will clean that up in a second, but I just want to show you guys first. So as it is coming out of this side, we're going to use this green tool here. It is plastic, so it won't mark the wheel hopefully, and then bring it over and it will securely hold the valve stem in place. Now is also a good time to get a wire brush and just clean the old deposits of rubber around here, because that can cause leaks sometimes. With the replacement tyre here, we want to lubricate both the inside and outside of the bead again. Now this lubricant that I am using is a sealant at the same time as well, so it's quite good stuff. With both sides lubricated up, you want to take notice of which part is going to be the inside. So we have it clearly marked here. It says inside, so this will be facing down towards the car. It is quite important to take notice of this. To seat the bead, we want to get this part of the tyre onto that lip there. So we want to just seat that there and then tilt it at an angle and just spin the turntable around. It should automatically go down and into the wheel. Now usually most tyre places will put a lever here, so as they spin it around, the tyre will seat nicely onto the wheel. But that could damage your wheel. We have arms here. We can use these arms to assist us. So I'm going to place one right here. We want to sit it next to the roller arm and sort of assist it as it's coming round. So that way the wheel itself is not damaged. Release all the arms. Don't worry about this bit, it will go back into shape once you apply some air into it, or if you're that anal about it, you can just press it and it will go back into shape. We have to remove it from the turntable so we can inflate it properly. Now it's time to inflate the tyre and seat the bead. So this section of the tyre is already seated onto the wheel, but you have a gap here. So as we inflate the tyre, this would rise and seat itself. Sometimes when you go into a tyre shop and they're installing the tyre, you do hear pops. Now they are quite loud. I'm going to wear my air defenders, and as I inflate it to about 32-33 psi, you will see this pop up. As you guys may have heard, there were two pops, one on the inside of the tyre and one on the outside. This one was so much louder, but now it's nicely seated around. As I pull off this inflator hose, I will have to quickly put in the valve core, otherwise all the air will come shooting out. So just make sure the valve core is nice and tight. We'll put back the inflator hose. That is about 30 psi. So we want to inflate it to about 32 or 33, or how you desire your tyre pressure to be. Install the valve cap, and now it's time to balance the wheel. The reason why we have to balance the wheel is because every tyre is made differently, and the wheels itself as well. They're not perfectly balanced. So we just want to set this up first. Clamp it in nice and tight. And we also want to adjust it, measure the width, tell the machine itself what kind of wheel, what kind of tyre it has. Now usually we have clamps and all of that, but with this tyre balancer, we have a special arm. We are able to tell the machine how wide the wheel is, and then once it's set, the screen here will tell us where to put the weights. So as I close this cover, the machine itself will spin the wheel, and then we'll get the desired weights on the screen. So with the results on the screen, this is telling us it needs 5 grams on the inside of the wheel and 30 on the outside. Now to determine where we put it, we wait until we have 4 dots or a beep, and that will tell us that we have to pull it at 12 o'clock. Wheel weights normally come in a strip of 60, so we need 5, we literally can just rip it off, and there's double-sided tape on the back. Just clean the surface where the weight is going to be, and that would make sure that it doesn't fall off. With the weights on, we can spin the tyre again just to make sure that it has been fully balanced. With the wheel fully balanced, we're going to take it off the machine, install the wheel cap, fit it onto the car, and tighten up all the nuts. Wheel installed, we just want to clean the lubricant that is left on there. All good. So that is another thing done to the DC5. This was very important, so I had to do it quite quickly. But if I just show you guys the tyre that was on there before. So once again, this is the old tyre. And for those of you guys who wanted to know how to check the tread depth of your tyre, These are the markings from manufacturer, so they are at 1.6 millimeters, and that is the legal requirement. So it's technically got about 2 millimeters left, but it's starting to crack and is not looking very good. So compared that one to this, I can almost fit my whole finger throughout the groove. So this is something that's very important. Do keep an eye on your tires and the condition of them. If you get markings or bulges on the side as well, that is going to be very dangerous. They can explode on the motorway. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Most of the time when you take your car to the tire shop or whatever, you don't get to see this behind the scenes. But I fortunately have a tire machine and a balancer in my garage, so I'm able to show you guys. I'll see you soon.